My name is Captain Dale Arnajewski, United States Marine Corps. Aircraft you see, it's the AV-8B Harrier. The A stands for attack, the V stands for V-stall, and that's what we're all about, vertical short takeoff and landing, which is primarily what the Harrier is designed to do. Work forward on the battlefields to give ground commanders some quick reaction for ground attack, and that's what we're all about, supporting the ground troops. Okay, first thing I'll point out is the engine in this aircraft. The aircraft is basically designed around the engine, since what we do is we transition from wing-borne to jet-borne flight, and when we're sitting stationary hovering, the only thing that's holding up is our engine. So that's probably the most important piece of gear in the airplane. It's a Rolls-Royce design, 406, and it develops 23,000 pounds of thrust.
Look to the right, ladies and gentlemen. Juice and the AV-8B Harrier.
The way we maneuver our exhaust in order to maintain that hover flight is via these 4 exhaust nozzles. I have in the cockpit a lever next to the throttle, which I can manipulate and rotate the nozzles down for jet-borne flight for hovering straight down, or I can rotate them all the way aft for wing-borne flight. Right now they're at about 10 degrees. They travel from 0 to 82 degrees. Once the airplane's up and away and the nozzles are aft, it flies pretty much like any other jet. Of course, the big trick is to transition from that hover position to wing-borne flight and vice versa. That's the big trick in this airplane. That takes some getting used to. Okay, our reaction control system is based on these puffer ducts here on the wingtip, on the nose of the aircraft, and on the back end of the aircraft. There's engine bleed air through ducting that comes out to these doors here, and what this does, it allows me to maneuver the aircraft when I'm in the hover mode. What will happen is these controls are linked to the stick and the rudders. So if I want to go left, I just push the stick left, and this wing will lift up and the other one will push down, and that way I can translate the aircraft. Or if I want to do a spot turn like I did in the routine, I push on the rudder pedals, and the reaction control on the tail of the aircraft is going to open, and the exhaust is going to force the nose of the aircraft around. Okay, the wind vane up on top there is nothing more than that. It's just a wind vane, it's free spinning, and what that does is when I'm stabilized in the hover position, it lets me know which way the wind's coming from, and that's important for me to know, so I can land into the wind and turn the nose into the wind. It's also very important that we keep that vane centered as we're transitioning from wing-borne flight to jet-borne flight, or vice versa, because in the regime of 30 to 90 knots, we have a very, very dangerous situation where the aircraft is very prone to departure, and you have to zero out the off factor, and the easiest way to do that is center the vane. And you ask any Harrier pilot what's the most important thing to do when you're slowing down or speeding up through 30 to 90 knots, they'll say center the vane.
You will notice there are no pure vertical takeoffs or landings being performed here today, because in fact the runway surface here at Batavia is asphalt, and the hot exhaust of pure vertical takeoff or landing would melt and damage the runways. The temperature, in fact, under that exhaust as he comes down in the hover is about 1,400 degrees. As a result, Captain Najewski will now demonstrate a rolling vertical takeoff.
Up here in the cockpit, I have what's called a HUD, heads-up display. There's various information projected onto that screen up there, the plate glass screen, that gives me information as to how the airplane's flying, how the engine's performing, navigational information, stuff like that. The control stick here has various controls on it. It's called the HOTAS, hands-on throttle and stick, and weapons release modes, different buttons to change the mode of flight I'm in. Down here I have a throttle in my left hand. Right here, right next to the throttle, is a lever that I use to control the nozzles. I rotate the nozzles either straight down or full aft or at any intermediate position depending on what mode of flight I'm in or what mode of flight I'm transitioning to. And that's what's unique about the Harrier is this lever right here. No other jet has it.
When he comes back through here, he is going to deliberately overshoot his hover point in order to show you the Harrier's capability to move backwards through the air. The unique ability allows the AV-8B to operate from remote sites in close proximity to friendly forces, on ships or on carriers, where only a minimum amount of landing space is available. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a great big hand for Captain Dale Nijuski of your United States Marine Corps.
Fantastic job. Nice job, Dave.
You know, we've had some feedback from people that think we promote war. Well, we don't promote war. We promote the ingenuity and the camaraderie of the people of the United States when time is in need. And here's an example of what we needed at the time. And it's a real contrast against the jets that fly here this weekend, too. And what we've done in 40 or 50 years, gone from an airplane that'll fly 170 miles an hour and carry a whole 12,000 pounds to an airplane a quarter the size that'll fly 2 times the speed of sound and carry 70,000 pounds. It's evolution of history that really gives you a lot of warmth and a lot of feeling to watch take place.
The air shows are a neat place to come to. You get to see a bit of heritage that you've probably never seen before, and you get to meet some of the men who've made the sacrifices that allow us to have this kind of country to live in.
I went to the pilot's briefing this morning, and I was so pleased at the dedication of these men. They're airline pilots, they're aviation buffs. They do this because they love aviation, but they do it because they love their country too.